Mr. Green.
Yes, ma'am.
You claim your rights as a potential father to the child in question today, 2-year-old Angel Bryant, were basically stolen from you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say at 56 years old, and having never fathered a child previously, you've had doubts about paternity from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yet you maintain you still assume financial responsibility for Angel, just in case she's indeed yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit to sleeping with another man while with Mr. Green, but say you're still positive he is Angel's father because the other man used protection. Furthermore, you contend that Mr. Green is not solely supporting the child. In fact, you admit that both men are currently paying child support. Mr. Green, how did you meet Ms. Duncan?
How did I meet her? Well, it was New Year's night. She was out, I was out, of course. I saw her staggering a little bit, walking home alone from the club. I took her home, and then we just talked for a little bit, exchanged numbers.
Then shortly thereafter, you guys began dating?
I don't have sex. I'm not a sexually active person. We did not sleep together, and this was about 3 months later. So we first had sex around May, just like you say, May.
So you all waited, which is good, got to know one another, and then you had a sexual relationship.
That's correct.
So now, was this a committed relationship? Ms. Duncan, did you tell him that you were in a relationship with somebody else at the time?
He knew I was talking to someone, but I told him we broke up, but I was still talking to him.
All right, so you basically lied and told him you weren't talking to the guy anymore, but you were.
Yes.
And you weren't just talking to him.
No.
You were still having sex with him too.
Yes.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know nothing about a relationship.
So you thought she was single when you met her?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what happened when you discovered you were pregnant?
I got sick. I was eating buffalo wings, and I was started hurting in my right side real bad. They took me to the emergency room, and they told me that I had gallstones, and also, congratulations, you're 9.5 weeks pregnant.
Really?
So I called Mr. Green.
You did?
Yes.
He was the first person you called?
Yes.
And so what was your reaction? Were you happy?
I just couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
You were 54 years old.
Yes.
You never had another child.
No, Your Honor.
So you were in a bit of a shock.
That's why I was in shock. But see, that's one reason why I brought her to court today, because I want the truth to come out. We're going to shame the devil and the truth coming out today.
So when you told him you were pregnant, he says he was shocked. How did that come across to you through the phone? Did you feel like he didn't care, or did he sound happy?
Yes, I felt that he didn't care.
So did you tell the other guy you were pregnant too?
I haven't seen the other guy until after I got out the hospital.
Okay.
Your Honor, I figured that if I'm supposed to be the child's father, I would have been there at the time of birth, and also my name would be on the birth certificate, Your Honor.
And so that's not the case?
No. And in fact, while she was pregnant, I was informed that she would call me. I said, well, call me when you get ready to have the child so I can be there at birth. I would like to cut the cord. I said, she's going to call me. I'm not worrying about it. That didn't happen.
And she never called?
Never received the call.
No, Your Honor, that's a lie.
I had a dream that a child was being born. And I called the emergency room. Sure enough, they told me that Miss Duncan was in the emergency room.
Your Honor, he wasn't nowhere around me. During my pregnancy, this other guy, he stepped up and he was with me through my whole pregnancy. So that's a lie,
No,
Your Honor, that's a lie.
I was there, but not there like you want me to be.
You wasn't nowhere around, no doctor appointments, no nothing. I made a mistake, I was with the other guy, but he stepped up to the plate and he took care of her.
That part is true, but I told you I have a thing about hospitals.
You wasn't nowhere around.
So, Mr. Green, at what point did you find out there was another man in the picture?
I'm getting to that right now, Your Honor.
Okay.
It was like 6 or 7 months down the road after doing her pregnancy. Then she told me, she said, well, the baby may not be yours. Oh. That's after 6 or 7 months.
Of pregnancy or
Yes.
when the baby was born?
6 or 7 months doing pregnancy.
All right.
And that's why I found out the baby may be who she said it may be.
So how did you break that news, Miss Duncan?
I've been told him that. He know I had a...
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You told me about 6 or 7 months after you was pregnant. You said the baby may not be yours. It may be you know who. So I took that kind of hard. You said he was using protection, but it broke.
Yes,
That's
I told
just
you
what those
that. I
exact
told you
words.
that I was what?
Okay,
3 months pregnant.
You told me that 6,
now
7
you're gonna
months.
tell I'm 6 and 7
You
months?
was about to have the baby almost about 4 more months to go.
Oh.
So, Mr. Green, when you say you know who, did you ever meet this other guy?
Not too afterwards.
And what happened when you saw him?
I don't know if it was a birthday or Mother's Day. Okay, I took her home, and he was outside waiting for her, and that kind of hurt. And he said, I come to see my daughter, my daughter. I said, that's your daughter, that's my daughter. And that's like embarrassing, you know. He was already there waiting for her to come home.
Really? And so you out as a family and then come home and some other man is talking about he's coming to pick up your family?
Yes, Your Honor. I even questioned him. I said, if you know the child's not yours, why would you sign the birth certificate knowing the child is not yours? And I had no comment.
He didn't answer. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Did you know he was gonna come pick you up after Mr. Green dropped you off?
No,
Did you
Your
have
Honor.
2 dates in a row planned?
No, Your Honor.
So why was he just sitting up there?
He probably just came by. I didn't know he was coming by. I didn't.
Did you ask him if he thought he was
I
the
didn't
baby's
really,
father?
I really didn't see him till after the child was born.
When did you come see the child? How old she was? 2, 3 months?
About 1 month.
And the other guy was there for me. He was right there for me.
That doesn't mean to give a child another man's name if he's not the
The way
father.
you was abandoning me, I felt you didn't want no child, and the man.
Well, you could
was
have left it blank. If your heart, if you know who the dad is, you could have left that birth certificate blank until you get a blood test. Then let it be signed.
Well, I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Everybody make mistakes.
Okay?
Like you
I made
playing
a
me, and
mistake.
you playing him. You get what you can
I'm
get
not
from him.
playing with him.
You get what you can get from me.
No, oh no. You wasn't really giving me nothing.
I know that.
So how I'm playing
How would you feel if I do the same thing to you if I was
How
vice versa?
Playing you? How was I playing you, Mr. Green? How?
How? Every time the baby needs shoes, the baby needs pampers, the baby needs this, your daughter needs this. How do I know it's my daughter?
Okay.
Miss Duncan,
Yes, Your Honor.
you just said for the first month he was not around, but the other guy was?
The other guy was around all the way through my pregnancy.
Really? Was
Yes.
he at the birth too?
Yes.
So while he was sitting around waiting for the phone to ring,
I called him.
The
and
other
he
guy
didn't answer. Every
oh, so
time
hold on now. If the other guy was there, you called him and he didn't answer, you gonna
I
have them
already
both
called
there?
him. No, Your Honor, no.
So after he didn't answer, then you called the other guy?
Yes.
So that guy was up there and the baby was born, you put his name on the birth certificate?
Yes, I have evidence.
I'd like to see that. Jerome? So this is you in the hospital with your beautiful new baby
Yes, Your Honor.
and the other gentleman with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you decided just to put his name on the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor. I was messing with both of them. There's a possibility he could be the father as well.
Well, you did make a decision because, as Mr. Green said, you could have just said there are 2 possible fathers. I'm going to leave it blank until I have a DNA test.
Thank you.
You're right,
There it
Your
is.
Honor.
Now Angel's 2 years old. Who does she regard as daddy? This guy?
No, Your Honor.
No.
She just in his name. She called Mr. Green her daddy.
So, Mr. Green, after being denied the opportunity to be at the birth, you now have established a relationship with the child so much so that she calls you daddy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you provide for her.
I do what I can do when I can, and that's why I want to step up to the plate and do more, because I don't want the child to grow up without a father.
And I can see that it breaks both of you apart. Both of you are in tears right now. And is that because you feel like your mistakes have negatively affected this child, or you feel like you've had to hold back from her because you're so uncertain?
I feel that I'm getting too attached to the child. I love her, and I can't get all the love that a father should give his daughter. That's keeping me from doing what I'm supposed to do as a father.
And Ms. Duncan, you understand that it's your mistakes that cost your child that opportunity?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the other gentleman, is he supporting her as well?
He was. I haven't seen him in like 3 to 4 months.
But up until about 3 or 4 months ago, he was providing for her?
Yes.
In what way?
He like bring me like 200 or 300 a month.
So he would give money
And we
for
take
her.
the baby shopping.
And he get her clothes.
Yes. And he helped me pay for her daycare as well.
Then he just disappeared?
I don't know where he at.
But she didn't call him daddy.
No.
But she knew who he was.
Yes.
Did he believe he could be her biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
He did. Wow. So, Ms. Duncan, when you look at Angel, which one of these men do you see?
Mr. Green.
You do. You think she looks like Mr. Green.
Yes, Your Honor.
How about you, Mr. Green?
A lot of times she looks like me, and then sometimes she don't. It all depends on the picture.
You submitted a baby picture of yourself. Now, this is a baby picture of you and then a baby picture of Angel. Do you see a resemblance?
Not exactly on that picture.
Not on that one? Any resemblance now? Do you think she looks like you right now?
Not really. I say around the cheekbones.
Just the cheekbones? Do you see a resemblance, ma'am, Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor.
So now you've established this relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
She calls you daddy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, she does.
And yet, with all of this, you still never knew if you're truly her biological father.
No, Your Honor.
So now you're thinking about a young life, a young child, a young girl you're responsible for. You're thinking about her future.
Yes, Your Honor. That's why I want to get this thing straight and get everything. If I am the father, that child shouldn't be suffering like that. By I'm being a vet, the child is entitled to benefits.
Yes.
And if I'm the father, that child has been cheated out of 2.5 years of benefits that she's entitled to. And she wouldn't be living in the conditions that she's living if her name was on the birth certificate as Green. And plus, she would be able to go to school, college for free. Once she finished regular school and high school, she has the opportunity for the government to send her to school free.
So, first off, thank you for your service. And so, in other words, this beautiful young girl really has no idea that she's missing out on a lot of opportunity, care, and provisions, and you want to make sure she is taken care of.
Yes, Your Honor.
But without legally being named her father, she's not entitled to these things.
That's right, Your Honor.
Yes.
Miss Duncan,
Yes, Your Honor.
the other man whose name's on the birth certificate, if you could locate him, does he have the means to care for your daughter the way Mr. Green does?
No, Your Honor.
No. Wow. Okay, the stakes are really high. I will say this, Jerome, we see a lot in this courtroom. Men who accuse women of putting the man's name on the birth certificate that they feel is most qualified to take care of the child, regardless of the thing. In my opinion, Ms. Duncan, I have to say it lends credibility to your testimony that his shock translated as rejection to you. And you went ahead and put this other man's name on the birth certificate because you felt like he didn't want to be bothered. Because truthfully, as you stated so clearly, this is the better man to take care of a child.
That's what I really want for her to be his daughter.
And that's a shame. That's the power of communication. If you just could have had a conversation. All right, Jerome, let's get the results. Oh, what a shame. If anyone would like to take a seat, we know these results can be emotional. Please feel free. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Duncan versus Green, when it comes to the paternity of 2-year-old Angel Bryant, Mr. Ronald Green, you. In the case of Duncan versus Green, when it comes to the paternity of 2-year-old Angel Bryant, Mr. Ronald Green, you. are not her father. I'm so sorry. Mostly sorry for Angel. Miss Duncan, are we certain it is the other gentleman?
Yes,
No other possibility?
no, Your Honor.
And you have no idea where he is?
No, Your Honor.
It's gonna work out. Things happen. That's the way it is. It is what it is.
They most certainly do. We make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, sometimes our children pay for our mistakes.
Yes, Your Honor.
But if you can find a place in your heart, Mr. Green, for Angel, play a role in her life, whatever it may be, I think that would be wonderful.
Okay.
I wish you all the very best of luck, and take care of your beautiful little girl.
Thank you.
Court is adjourned. So Mr. Slaughter was not able to be in court today. However, the court was able to locate him and ask him a couple of questions. The first question we asked Mr. Slaughter was, what was the nature of your relationship with Ms. Johnson, and how did you find out about Damien?
We met through a mutual friend. I know might have been sometime in the early 90s. We kind of lost track of each other after, our relations, and then I seen her later on in life. Well, Miss Johnson told me possibly about 2 years ago that I might be a possible father for Mr. Johnson. And my first reaction to that situation was like, I don't think so. He doesn't look anything like me, and why would you wait till he's a grown man to tell me that I might be a possible father when all this time you've known me and we've been friends and it never came up before?
That's not true.
Why is that?
Because it wasn't 2 years ago that I had got in contact with him about this.
When was it?
Back when he was 13.
So your testimony is at the point you realized that man number 2 was not Damien's biological father, you basically started calling everybody. You admittedly were sleeping with multiple men. You said you were fast, and you said you were sleeping around. So you just said, you know what? I'm fanning out, and I'm telling everybody I was having sex with, you could potentially be my son's biological father.
Yes, because we didn't end up following through with it back then, and that's why we're here today.
We didn't have the money. Like, my mom was doing everything by herself. Nobody else wanted to step up and help my mom out, It's ridiculous. Like, I may be 22 now, just like everybody else. Everybody else wants to know who their dad is. I want to know who my dad is. It just shouldn't matter because I'm 22. It shouldn't matter if I'm 13, 6, or 7. My mom's being a mom, and she's trying to figure this out. So these men just need to step up and help her out. She can't do it by herself. She can't. It's impossible. She didn't make me by herself.
You are correct, young man. And because of that, this court also asked Mr. Slaughter, if you're proven to be Mr. Johnson's father, what are your hopes for the future? This is how he responded.
If I am proven to be Mr. Johnson's father, I'm going to definitely, be a good role model to him, a mentor, do all the type of stuff that a dad is supposed to do for a up-and-coming young man. I know it's very important for a young man to have a father in his life, and it's never too late.
How does that make you feel when he says he would like to be there for you? He would like to be a father.
It feels good knowing that somebody is willing to step up and be there, if they are my dad, It'd just be nice to know who my dad is. Just be able to call somebody dad.
Of course it would. And I want you to understand that every person has that desire. And that's why we do this, for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Johnson, your son, when he speaks, I can see how emotional it makes you.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to your son? He is such an amazing young man.
He is. And I love him so much.
Oh, me too, Mom.
He excels at everything he does. He's amazing. And people are missing out. And it's not fair at all to any of them. I feel in my heart that he's Damien's. Right. And that would be the only one to carry on his name.
And that's why the stakes are so high.
Absolutely. Because that's 22 years of her son, her brother, that they missed out on.
Well, yes, but they missed out on it, Ms. Johnson, and I want to say this to you respectfully, because what I appreciate about you is that you came in and said, no, you know, I was fast. This is what I was doing. And what we know now is, to this point, we have 5 potential fathers.
There's another one.
Yes.
You said there's another one.
Yes.
So that is
Man, Missy.
potential father number 6.
Yes.
And who is this man?
Mr. Harmon.
So tell me about your relationship with potential father number 6, Mr. Harmon.
There wasn't one. We hung out a couple times and had a couple sexual encounters, and that was it. There was nothing whatsoever.
So this
other
was
than
just sex?
Yes.
But it was unprotected.
Yep.
Which is why you say he could potentially be Damien's biological father.
Right.
Well, Mr. Harmon is here, and we'd like to hear from him. Jerome, will you please escort Mr. Harmon into the courtroom?
Yes. Maybe come up here right on the left-hand side.
Mr. Harmon, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We have an incredible young man here who deserves to know who his father is, and his mother, Ms. Johnson, has indicated to this courtroom that she was involved in a sexual relationship with you, and that you are one of 6 potential fathers. When is the first time you heard Damien could potentially be your biological son?
4 weeks ago.
Just 4 weeks ago?
4 weeks.
So Miss Johnson reached out to you?
Well, we're friends. We're still friends.
Oh, wow. So you have been friends,
Yes.
and you've seen Damien,
Yes.
been around him,
Yes.
but you never knew
No.
he could potentially be your biological son?
No, I didn't. I have other kids, but I don't think that he's mine.
So, Ms. Johnson, how did you tell Mr. Harmon he could be the father? I mean, he says he knows you. He's seen
I'm still
Damien.
friends with Mr. Henley and Mr. Slaughter. We all still conversate. We just never took the step to actually get to the bottom of it until my son reached out and said, Mom, could you please help me? I need to know where I came from. I feel I did the best that I could. As far as I've been on my own since I was 14. I didn't have my mom nor my dad.
I will say this. Your son, as he sits here, mannerable, respectful, honorable, smart.
Absolutely.
Well-spoken. For all you have been through and you have done and have admitted to, I do see the best parts of you in him. And that's all we can hope for as mothers and as fathers. We have not determined that yet, but that when people see our children, they see the best pieces of us. So the fact that you still were able to do this and raise this young man, it says a lot about you. All right?
Thank you.
You know Mr. Harmon.
Yes.
And so when your mom told you he could potentially be your biological father, when was this? How did she tell you?
Last night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all so much just like built up. It's just like sometimes I just don't want to think about anything, you know? I just want to box myself away, you know? So.
He just said,
When
Mom,
you say
please
you
help
want to
me.
box yourself away, what do you mean, honey?
Like,
I see the tears in your eyes. What do you mean box yourself away?
feel like I'm not as good as everybody else because they all got dads. You know?
Oh,
Don't ever feel
just
like
break
that.
my heart. Don't you ever feel like that. Do you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Look at me. Don't you ever feel like that. You are worth it. You are just as good.
You ain't
You
any
are. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's why we're here for you, because you are important and worth it. And whether we get the answer today or not, you still are worth it. You understand me? That just breaks my heart.
Mine too.
And that's why we do this. That is why I will do this to the day they say I can't do it no more. Because I don't care what it is. And I want you to know that there are people that will go to war with you to find out the answers you need. And honey, you will never be in this fight by yourself. You got a soldier in me.
Thank you.
You understand? You be strong, okay? You see. I usually say, Jerome, I'm ready for the results, but I don't even know if I'm ready for the results today. So, Damien, I'm gonna ask you, are you ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Then let's do this. Jerome, the envelopes, please. The first results relate to Mr. Harmon. In the case of Johnson versus Fortuné, when it comes to 22-year-old Damien Johnson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Harmon, you are not the father. These results pertain to Mr. Slaughter. When it comes to 22-year-old Damien Johnson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Slaughter is not the father. Ms. Johnson, we've had 2 negative results, and so far, your assertion that you didn't believe these men, I would say that you do believe Mr. Ellerson is his biological father.
Yes.
Is still in contention. These results pertain to Mr. Henley. When it comes to 22-year-old Damien Johnson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Henley, you are not the father. Damien, are you all right, hun?
Yeah.
I have one more. These results pertain to the deceased Damien Ellerson. The man you believe, Ms. Johnson, is your son's biological father. Because there wasn't a blood card available to test the DNA of the deceased, Damien Ellerson, we performed a DNA test with his surviving parent, Lethea Murray. These are the results. When it comes to 22-year-old Damien Johnson, it has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Miss Lethea Murray and Damien Johnson is 0.00% you are not related. We are at the point where we have gone through 6 potential fathers. You have laid it all on the line, but we know now there's at least more somewhere.
Yes, there is.
How many more?
3.
3 more. Damien, just take a breath, honey. Like I said, we're gonna go to war for you today. That's what happens when you have people on your team. When you wanna give up, we don't give up.
I'm ready to give up.
No,
Don't you ever.
no, Damien. Hand, give me a hand. We're gonna keep going. 1 foot in front of the other, we're gonna do it. You're gonna keep your head up because you are an incredible young man. You have come here and you have exhibited the type of character that I can only hope my son would exhibit one day. And I don't want you to feel anything about not being worth it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay? And we're going to come back at a later date and we're gonna test everybody we can test until we get the answer you need. And Mom, you stood in this courtroom and said it's 3. I don't care if it's 33. I want them all. I want all the names.
Absolutely.